back there in the sound booth. That's my little comfort spot back there is the sound booth. It's kind of where I've made my home for the last 10 years, which is why I'm up here. April 5th, if I'm not mistaken, marked the 10-year anniversary of the first day I walked through the doors of this church. Thank you. And I normally don't let these kinds of, I don't pay much personal attention to anniversaries or birthdays or anything like that, but I put a lot of thought into this decade, where I was 10 years ago and where I am now. I'm not going to start off with the woe's tale of 10 years ago. I'm actually going to share a little bit of now with you. This last week, a lot of you know that I'm in nursing school, and I'm in my first semester of nursing school. And this last week, I got to observe in surgery for the first time. And I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it. I was, the whole blood and guts thing. I mean, I got through anatomy and I dissected a cat. So I was, if I could do that, then sorry, but it was amazing. I used to work as a secretary for an ophthalmic surgeon, and I opted to go into ophthalmic surgery and observe. And since I knew the lingo and the terminology and everything, the doctor, who normally wouldn't, these doctors don't give the nurses the time of day. He was so excited that I knew what I was doing and what I was talking about. He brought me right up next to him and was walking me through the surgery. I was like there, right there with the patient. It was the most amazing thing to me. I chose this career as a healer and as a caregiver because in my 10-year journey, my baby steps journey of trying to find God, and trying to understand God and trying to feel God in my life, that's where it happens. When I'm helping my best friend, who's got food poisoning, getting him to the hospital and making sure that he's taken care of, that's where I find God. Where, I'm helping some lady, find directions because she's lost, that's where I find God. When I'm back there in that booth, and I see all you first-timers coming into the church, and I knew what it was like to be a first-timer. It felt like, okay, well, everybody knows what they're doing. They've been together. They know these songs and everything. When I could sit there and feed you the words to the song, and you're not just observing, but you're participating, and you feel like from the second you walk in that door, you're part of the congregation. And I know because I'm hitting that button right at the right moment. That's where I find God. I always thought that God was just some concept, something way out there, something that, when I declare myself a Christian, I'm going to get hit with this bolt of lightning. I feel God. And it didn't happen that way. It really didn't. I came into this church for the first time, and although it was completely imperceptible to me at that moment, that was just a monumental milestone change in my life. Before that, my whole life had been about trying to fill this big void I got right here. This void comes, and I'll spare you all the boring details, but I never had a mother or a father, or for any practical purposes, a family. So, and I didn't know any different. I never really felt sorry for myself or anything like that, but I always perceived that there was this big difference between me and all of you, because all of you have either a mom or a dad, for the most part, most of you do. But that whole concept was completely foreign to me. Mother's Day and Father's Day, people sell a lot of cards, and I know, they take their mothers out to brunch and everything, but I never really felt what that was about. My concept of mom and dad was always just TV, what I saw on TV. But there was always this void here, and I tried to fill that void with boyfriends. I tried to fill that void with best friends, usually one best friend at a time. And, I'll be your best friend, and if you give me a chance, I'll suck the life right out of you. I was like Tarzan swinging from vine to vine. I was swinging from best friend to best friend, from boyfriend to boyfriend, and I always had these situational relationships. Somebody that I worked with, friend of a boyfriend, a neighbor, somebody that lived down the street from me, and they would always be these really close connections, but some situations would change. I'd break up. They'd quit. I'd quit. I'd move. They'd move. And then the friendship and the closeness was gone. And I was looking for this filler, this thing to fill the void in people. And people have the nerve to be human. That's the problem. People aren't forever. Moms and dads aren't forever. Just mine were a little bit less forever than yours were. Nothing here lasts forever. And that's what I was looking at. That's all I knew. Just as a footnote, growing up, religion was never mentioned in my household. I was raised by my grandparents. Never a cross in the house, nothing. So I wasn't exposed to it at all until I came here. And what brought me here? This life of trying to find salvation through people. Finally, there was no people left to fill the void, so I started filling it with drugs. And it would be really easy to say that was my problem. The drugs were my problem. That was a problem, but it wasn't the problem. The problem was I didn't have anything to latch on to. I didn't have something forever to hold on to. And it took me a while coming here. I didn't feel it for a long time. I just felt like, God, I'm with the Stepford Christians, you know? You know, these people that just, they sing these songs and they feel the salvation and they go into ecstasies and I'm not feeling it. You know, it'll hit me eventually, I'm sure. But it did. And what brought me back wasn't the songs, wasn't the salvation, wasn't the spirit that everybody felt. It was that booth right back there. Because somebody needed me. Somebody needed me to show up. Somebody depended on me. And that was the first. Usually I was a pebble in somebody else's shoe. That's how I felt about myself most of my life. But you guys needed me. You still do. And there were so many Sundays where I didn't come back here for myself, I came back here for you. And in coming back here for you, I found something for myself. And I remember when Chuck asked me to help out, you know, they said they needed a helping hand. Yeah, I said, yeah, sure, why not? I didn't really know what a transforming thing being in that booth was going to be for me. Because it gave me something to do, something constructive, something positive to do. I got to contribute to this place. I got to give to this place something that I'm good at. Christianity isn't a spectator sport. You can't just sit back on the sidelines and watch other people do the work and expect to get anything out of it. I realized, Joel, that the reason that I don't feel comfortable sitting in the pews is because when I'm sitting in the pews, I'm not doing anything. When I'm back there, that's when I count. And it isn't that I don't like sitting in the pews, it's just that I need to be doing something. I need to be giving back to God at all times. If I can't give it monetarily, right now I'm a starving student, so I can't, you know, you probably get like 35 cents out of me this week. At least I can give in a way that means something to all of you. So I'm going to wrap this sermon up. So all I can say is this, is that if you first-timers that have just walked in here, if you don't feel it, you're not supposed to. If you're coming in here for the very first time and you think that we're all a bunch of Jesus freaks and we look weird, we're supposed to look that way. So you're right on track, really. This doesn't. If this is going to have any meaning for you in your life, it's not going to just hit you out of the blue, out of nowhere. You're going to have to. It's going to build up. It's going to take time for you to really feel what I feel right now. I mean, hopefully not 10 years, but let it happen. Just show up. Talk to people. And then you'll start to realize You may not think that you have a relationship with God, but God always had a relationship with you. So, thank you.